Hey everybody, Owen here from the Lardcore team and welcome back to another Devlog episode. Today I wanted to take the time to give a very special mention to all of our overseas fans, the likes of who make up a significant portion of the existing community. A fair amount has changed since the last time we spoke on this topic back in our very first Trench induction video back in March of 2023, and so it's important that we clarify a few things right off the bat. When Hogs of War originally released back in 2000, it came in 5 individually released language versions: English, French, German, Spanish and Italian. Despite what was said 2 years ago, we must confirm to you all now that Hogs of War Lardcore will not be releasing in Russian, and that's down to 2 reasons. The first is simply because the original game never had a Russian release to begin with. There are bootleg Russian and Belarusian versions out there online, but these are in no way associated with the official IP that we currently hold. So given that the translation framework isn't in place for this language compared to the others, the second reason is quite obviously time. The task of juggling 4 other languages on top of English is already a big enough task, especially when you factor in the inclusion of voice work. I hope our Russian-speaking players can understand where we're coming from in making this decision. It's not one that we take lightly. We are a team who care deeply about our fanbase, and I personally would like to apologise to anyone affected by this compromise. As we've stated from the beginning, our intention is to bring a new Italian team to the English, French, German and Spanish versions of Lardcore, while the Italian version itself receives their own Japanese team. The reason why, for those who may not know, the original Italian version of Hogs decided to swap out the existing Japanese team in their release for an Italian one, which is a respectable move. However, with that in mind, new dialogue and voice work has had to be created in preparation for the new content across the board for all versions, purely to ensure that everybody has access to the same available teams. Now, speaking of teams, we are very proud to announce that for multiplayer, our classes are receiving the much requested loadout changes that the community have wanted for some time. For starters, the Orderly will now be receiving the same available healing items that you find in single player, being that of the Medical Ball and Darts. The infinite healing hands of the original game have been reduced to ×5, while said Medical Ball has ×3 usage, and the Medical Dart is now infinite. You'll also notice here that the Tranquilizer has finally been reduced to a single use, with the upside in offensive capabilities being an increase in the melee strength thanks to the switching of the knife for the sword, and the addition of ×3 roller grenades. Elsewhere, the Gunner has had the addition of a single airburst added to his arsenal, alongside a small increase to his flamethrower count from 1 to 2. We've also boosted his health slightly to match his single player counterpart, so the normal HP is now 75, half is 37, and double is 150. We've always felt like the heavy weapons pig should live up to his name of being a beefy tank type class, and that's exactly what you'll be finding here. Now, if you're wondering about the Sapper, he'll be remaining with the same weapons and amount of HP, but with a single mine added to help clean up those pesky low HP pigs. Meanwhile, the Scout sees the addition of a single-use Special Ops to help with the last-minute repositioning, and a Suicide to inflict big damage when all other strategies have failed. And finally, the Grenadier. As a class who many in the community have viewed as being overpowered, we've taken that into consideration and have proceeded to reduce his quantity of high explosive grenades to ×3, with the addition of 2 rocket launchers to help compensate this. The Paratrooper is the only class that will be remaining the same, by the way. However, please note that more changes may come in future after further playtesting has been completed. We hope for the hardcore players among you that these will be welcome changes, opening up new avenues for play within each class. Not only that though, but post-release we do intend to include further individual weapon sets for our multiplayer classes to allow for alternative gameplay altogether. So for those of you that might be thinking about the Hogs of War League and having a specific set for that, then that may be possible in future. Frontschreiner in German, Le Couchon de Guerre in French, Maranos en Guerra in Spanish, and Nati per Sofrito in Italian. The language releases for Hogs of War have always held a special place for many a Hogs fan across this big old world of ours, and we think it's important to acknowledge the support that we have received from the community in bringing these versions up to scratch. Our community localization team, made up of several core overseas players from within the community Discord, have done a fantastic job so far in helping with the new translations and correcting old ones. For instance, as a native English speaker, I was completely unaware that Major Grimley's in-game voice lines in Spanish were actually missing the radio sound effect.
Si sufrimos más bajas, yo mismo acabaré contigo.
So as you can indeed hear, we went ahead and corrected this.
Si sufrimos más bajas, yo mismo acabaré contigo.
It's in knowing these small but significant discrepancies between each version that I feel is vital in achieving success in a remaster for all languages. As an English-based game studio, it would be very easy for us to purely focus our attention on the English version, but as Lardcore will finally house all languages under one roof, you can be safe in the knowledge that we are always going to try our absolute best in bringing that to fruition. It's been interesting to dive into this topic for me personally, as I feel sometimes not enough attention is given by game devs to other language versions within a remaster. We are all a collective of a single media, so it's very important to me that all players can see that we have put the same level of love and care into their version of the remaster when playing the final product. Huge shout out to Angelo, Alex, Stefan, Niklas, Bobby, Angel, and Clement. Now, as you can tell from how much time has passed since our last devlog video, our team have been incredibly busy. We're currently gearing up to show you all the latest visual changes and indeed those long-awaited pig models. They are so close now, let me tell you, the likes of which we'll have ready in future episodes. For now though, don't forget to check out all of the other Lardcore social media to stay up to date with the project and indeed future announcements, all of which you can find linked in the description below. Thank you all once again for your continued viewership and support. We're very much looking forward to getting over those final few hurdles before release. Bye for now.